Hey, how's it going? Um, Eric here, Psychic Vacuum. Um, Decided I was going to do a response to Celtic Frosty, aka Daryl. He just started his YouTube channel recently. Been a big contributor in the comments and the chat on heavy metallurgy for a long time. Chatted with him lots on there, and great dude. And yeah, big shout out to his channel. Go check that out if you haven't yet. He did a video recently called uh, was it My Metal? Tell me your metal story in 5 albums. So, I mean, this is a pretty cool idea. Just kind of showcasing your journey through metal, or getting into it more so. How I took this was some of the albums that really got me in deeper and deeper into metal, and seemed to be what he was showing on his video as well. Um, this It was interesting to me because these albums that I'm going to show kind of encapsulate a about a 10-year um, window, I guess you could say, which is kind of about how long it took me to get really deep into this style of music. I mean, I've loved music for my entire life. I grew up with a lot of classical music from my parents listening to that, but they also had stuff like the Beatles and Chicago, the Guess Who, Simon and Garfunkel, Gordon Lightfoot. Um, I don't know, all that kind of stuff had a big impact on me when I was a little kid, getting into rock music and whatnot, and kind of went from there. Um, I think a lot of metal appeals to me. I'm also a huge prog rock nerd and stuff too. So a lot of the like complexity in that and in metal as well, um, I think stems maybe from growing up with classical music as a little kid. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, before I start rambling too much, I should just get right into it. So the first Ah, So, Daryl had a couple buffer albums, he called them. He said 5 albums, but you're allowed maybe two extras. So I'm gonna use kind of one buffer and one kind of um, cheat later on, show two at once. So my first buffer album is gonna be Billy Talent 2. Um, this was one of the they're like a kind of post-hardcore band from Canada. This is probably their most famous album. I don't know how big they were outside of Canada, to be honest, but this was a big band for me getting into heavier stuff back in probably 2005, 2006. I would have been in grade 5 or 6 at that point. Um, and the vocalist especially, he does a lot of screaming, and I hated it at first, but the more I listened to this band, the more I started to like them. I mean, this album and their first one still hold up for me. Honestly, there's some great riffs on them. I don't know if you're into post-hardcore or anything like that kind of stuff. This is still worth checking out. Looks like stuff is showing up backwards on my monitor. I don't know if it'll show up that way on YouTube. First video I'm making on this new laptop, so we'll see how it goes. But hopefully the audio and everything is okay. Video doesn't look amazing, but it's probably just the lighting and stuff. So hopefully it's good enough. Um, all right, so with that out of the way, I'm gonna jump right into actual full on metal here, and this is where I'm gonna cheat, is I'm gonna show two albums. Credit for both of these goes to my buddy Liam, still one of my best friends. He plays bass in my band as well. Um, yeah, great dude. And would have been, I want to say, probably early grade eight. So, you know, late 2008 maybe. I remember he showed me both of these albums right around the same time. Uh, Maybe not the whole albums, but certain songs from each one anyway. And that's gonna be Black Sabbath, Paranoid, and Metallica, Master of Puppets. I mean, what do you say about either of these? They're just all-time classics. Um, totally different from each other, but man, I want to say the first song I heard from this was probably War Pigs or maybe Iron Man. Um, I remember hearing Iron Man in the Iron Man movie soundtrack briefly. I don't think they even play the whole song, but that kind of piqued my interest. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what song I heard first from this, but I remember listening to the whole album pretty soon afterwards. Blew my mind. And this Damage Incorporated, I think, was the first song that I heard off of this. And man, that and the title track as well. And I couldn't get enough of this. Both of these albums were huge for me getting into metal. Just, I don't know, both of them have, they're, they're intense in their own ways, especially for the time when they each came out, but they're both so catchy and memorable and just they make you want to go back and listen to them over and over again. Um, a lot of it has to do with the riffs, man. I mean, that's what metal is all about to me. As a guitarist myself, somewhat, I'm not amazing, but uh, I I love a good guitar riff. So both of those have those in spades. All right, going a little further forward, probably I don't know, early high school I was getting into a lot of different types of metal, I guess, and a lot of modern stuff for the time. I remember giving my iPod to um a guy I went to school with, and he loaded a bunch of metal onto there. There was all kinds of stuff, mostly modern stuff. Korn and Slipknot and Avenged Sevenfold, Disturbed, Killswitch Engage, all that kind of stuff. And I ended up liking quite a few of those bands at the time. I don't listen to very many of them so much anymore. Um, but there's still a certain nostalgia factor there. I can go back to listen to All Hope Is Gone by Slipknot or Killswitch Engage, As Daylight Dies, or a couple of those albums. But right around that same time, I remember hearing System of a Down, and something about these guys really grabbed me. Um, this is this is kind of an interesting set. I bought both these CDs separately, but the original versions you link them together and they make this big like JPEG thing. So that's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, these guys get lumped into the whole new metal thing, but I don't know. To me, they always stood above the rest of those bands. They do a lot of different kind of stuff. They do little bits of prog metal here and there. I mean, they have some pretty extreme stuff in places, harsh vocals and blast beats and stuff. But they also have a lot of really catchy songs, and I don't know, they really do some of everything. So and a lot of their songs are really memorable, and I mean, I listened to this, man. I mean, Toxicity, Steal This Album, I listened to all their albums so many times throughout high school. Um, and yeah, definitely a gateway band for me getting into a little bit more extreme stuff than I had before. I mean, it's not really that much more extreme than Metallica, for instance, but I don't know, just the diversity appealed to me and it made me want to seek out different sounding stuff. Tool was another huge band for me in that regard. I could have picked a Tool album. Some people don't consider them metal. I don't know. They're right there too. It's so hard to narrow this down to just five or even seven albums. I mean, there's so many things I could have picked, but um, the next one I went for is Lamb of God, Ashes of the Wake. Um, I could have picked As the Palaces Burn as well. This was the first band that I ever listened to, or that I ever really got into, with exclusively harsh vocals. Um, and yeah, I mean, these guys play, I guess you could call it groove metal for the most part, but there's a lot of thrash in there. There's some like melodic death metal elements as well, for sure. Definitely inspired by the like Gothenburg scene and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, again, just really catchy songs, but pretty heavy as well. And I mean, for me at the time, this was the most extreme stuff I had heard, but it still just it instantly clicked with me. Just the riffs again. I mean, man, there's so many great riffs on this album. Laid to Rest, Hourglass, Now You've Got Something to Die For, The Fated Line, man. If anyone isn't into Lamb of God and you want to investigate them a little bit, check out The Fated Line, man. That song, maybe their best. Um, I don't know. Just about every song on this album is still killer, even after all this years. All these years. This is one of the first CDs I ever bought as well, along with a couple Tool albums actually. So, off Amazon, I got a gift card for Christmas one year when I was probably in grade 10 or something. Yeah. Anyway, still a great album. Um, Next up, you know, I'm not gonna move very much further ahead in time. Maybe grade 11 or so. I'm gonna go with Mastodon, Crack the Sky. Um, The Hunter was the first album I actually ever got from these guys. I could have picked that instead of this. Um, because I mean, yeah, that's the first album I heard by them, and a lot of people are kind of hit or miss with that one. I get it because it is more kind of straightforward. There's some almost poppy kind of songs on there, but I think it's still a great album. But this one, after I heard The Hunter, started going backwards, and man, this album blew my mind. Um, I still think this is one of the best progressive metal albums of all time. Um, just so unique. There's almost like I don't know. There's everything from like crazy heavy sludge metal to like almost some like weird avant-garde country almost elements on here, some of the guitar stuff, but it all just works so well. On paper, if you tried to describe this album on paper, all the stuff that's going on, it would sound like a total mess. But when you listen to it, it's just so well put together. It's just amazing. I still love this album. It's probably, I don't know, top 10 or 20 album of all time for me. It's been a while since I listened to it because, again, I listened to it so much. Um, I should have said with System of a Down and Lamb of God as well. I mean, and Metallica and even Paranoid from Black Sabbath. These are albums that I don't listen to very much anymore just because I listen to them so much. I don't reach for them very often, but when I do, they still hold up. still love listening to any of these. If anyone else put them on, I would not not complain. If it came on the radio, I would not turn it off. Not that any of this stuff would ever actually come on the radio, but okay, and I'm down to my last one already. It feels like it hasn't taken very long, but that's a good sign because I usually uh my videos are usually too long, so something I'm gonna try to rectify in the near future. But all right, gonna go with Opeth Ghost Reveries. Here's the regular cover. Um, man, it took me a while to get into the death metal vocals. I remember hearing Gojira probably around the same time as I was getting into Mastodon and stuff, but I couldn't stand the vocals. Um, and took about till I want to say 2014 probably. Um, yeah, it would have been about early spring of 2014. I was out of high school by that time. I was actually going to a guitar making school in this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere in Saskatchewan, Canada. And I fortunately there was wireless internet there, and I remember just actually no, that's a lie. On the way there, I picked up Heritage, the album from Opeth from 2011, um, which was their kind of weird transition album where they stopped doing extreme metal altogether and went in a more prog rock, prog metal direction. And that's what pulled me in to begin with, because I mean, coming from Mastodon and Tool and stuff like that, I got into heavily into Porcupine Tree. I started getting into the old prog rock stuff like King Crimson and Jethro Tull and stuff like that. And the Heritage album from Opeth really like appealed to me at that point. Um, so I loved that, and I was like, okay, this album is amazing. I need to go back and hear some of the other stuff they've done because they had already, I want to say, I don't know, what, 8 or 10 albums at that point, and I ended up going back, and I still didn't quite love the vocals, but the music was so amazing that I kind of just um I mean, I had heard songs here and there before, but I couldn't ever get into them because of the vocals. But at that point, I just kind of, you know, I was like, okay, I need to force myself to listen to this and just get used to it. And that's exactly what happened. So this, I mean, I could go with Blackwater Park or Deliverance or, you know, so many great albums from these guys. Watershed, those would have been the earlier ones I got into, but this one really stuck out to me at the time. And yeah, after this, it was just once I could stand the death metal vocals on here, I got into Death, Symbolic. I got into Ishan's solo stuff. I got into Gojira, and after that, it was straight on to Morbid Angel and Enslaved, and you know, all the way down the extreme metal rabbit hole. Um, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I do want to give one other real quick shout out. Sorry, Daryl. I'm cheating here, but um, I gotta just throw this out there real quick because this got me back into traditional metal in about 2017 because I went into the extreme direction for a long time, and then this got me back into checking out like more traditional stuff. So anyway, I should end it there before I start rambling on for too long. Yeah, again, shout out to Celtic Frosty, Daryl. Go check out his channel if you haven't. I mean, he's shows a lot of cool stuff on there. He's only got 3 videos up so far, but he's on the right track. And yeah, cool guy. Thanks for the inspiration for this video, and I will hopefully have something up pretty soon. I'm just staring at a big stack of CDs right here. I did a collection update thing with Jeff over on Gas Masks and Hand Grenades, probably a few weeks ago now. Got too many beers deep in that one at the end. Uh, Apologies for that, but I should try to get through the rest of my stack here one of these days. So that'll be coming out soon, and then I want to start a couple series of just like not so much underrated but overlooked albums in a few different styles um, that I don't see people talking about very much. Styles of music that I really like, namely uh, weird death metal from the 90s specifically. I'm going to do hopefully proto metal, uh, some 70s prog rock. So if any of that sounds up your alley, check back in, week or two. I'm hoping to get that stuff up. I've been crazy busy the last while, but things are slowing down somewhat. So yeah, hopefully I'll have something up pretty soon. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Um, Quick shout out also to the Heavy Metallurgy Discord. Finally joined that. I know it's been up for a while. I put it off, but it's pretty fun to be on there, just getting to bullshit with other metal nerds. Yeah, I don't know. Feels like I'm more connected to the community after being on there, even just for a couple days. It's cool to just chat with everybody. Um, yeah. Anyway, enough said. Probably, you guys are probably sick of me talking at this point. So anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you all in the next one.